You may say, but isn't Jesus praying to God, asking for things to be changed, and you're not? Why aren't you praying likewise that these things come about? Well, the answer's simple. It's because there's no need. Well, why is Jesus doing it then? Well, because it's a story. It's not necessarily right. Don't worship the story. Well, how do you know what's right and what isn't? You don't. You only know what you value at present and accept and reject accordingly. And in that acceptance or rejection, you start to learn out the consequences such. And eventually, the consequences are such that you will change your values. Because the consequences are not overall what you value. What do you overall value? Life. You're not quite sure what life is and what brings it, but whatever that is, that's what you want. And you think, therefore, at the minute you want so-and-so, it looks as though that would be best. And you find by devotion to such that it's not, and you change your values. So simplistically, I'm saying that we are devoted to God, not the story. Not something less than God, like the messenger, or a theology, or reasoning even. You know, I'm devoted to God, but I can't prove that he even exists. But being devoted to God, the personification of what I value, results in me coming fastest to the loveliness that we actually truly need. If you find this to be the truth, you will do it. If you don't find this to be the truth, you will search on until you do. Find whatever satisfies you in the long run. You have a very long run opportunity, ideally. You say to me, but we don't. We only live 70 years or less. More or less. And I say, yes, well, that can't be the case then, can it? I think God's got an answer to this. Perhaps we keep coming back like the Eastern people believe. Perhaps we go on to something else that rescues us. Purgatory or something, if like the Catholics seem to believe. Perhaps you don't. And this is for the best. Oh, you try living like that, I think you'll be frightened to death. You'll long for something better. Your God won't be that. No, I have to accept this. My religion says this is what God is. And I'm humble and submit to that. Well, I can tell you from the story point of view, Jesus has come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. He's come to free you from that sort of trap of thinking. That doesn't mean to say you're supposed to worship him. In the story, he's emphatic. You should worship God and his heavenly dad at that. Try it and see if it works. In other words, when you do such, do you find life becomes wonderful or a nightmare? It's your call. You wanted the freedom, you got it. But you've no evidence that I wanted the freedom. No. But see if it's true. Oh no, I'm not risking that. Okay, but from my point of view, that means you'll probably stay in your unhappy position until you long for God to be such. In other words, your values change. But fair enough, I'm not praying that God overrules you. I'm convinced he's doing what's best. I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to experience the world. And in some sense I trust and hope that this is right and a great blessing because of his goodness and loveliness. I just love Dad, God as Dad, because that's what seems to suit my values. They may change as a consequence of doing this, or they may change in the sense of become confirmed deeper and deeper who I am. And ideally I hope and trust for the kingdom of heaven, because I value life, abundant life and life eternal. But I'm a child, I'm not clear what that is, nor how to get it. But the Jesus story says, start from a point of view where your God is the personification of your values, and that your values are that you see him as a wonderful dad, a perfect dad, even though you're not clear what perfection means. Bless you. And you'll find you are blessed. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. So you see, I'm not wishing Scripture or Jesus. I'm worshipping God. And yes, it's my view of what God ideally is. But my ideal is according to what my values are at present. But I'm a child. These values are astray. And I'm trusting, and I'm finding that it's appealing that the Jesus story says I should trust in God, and God as a lovely, wonderful, heavenly dad. And that's the best way to go. And I'm running with that. My primacy is accordingly. Do you see? Thank you, Heavenly Dad.